How you guys doing? I thought this would be a really interesting video for everyone playing back in Season 1, new players, old players, and looking at the bandwagon Kinnara Nico, right? These two together, how good are they? And in Season of Strife, you can see I'm kind of running them still with the 20% HP and 7% maximum Legion capacity. The reason why I've done this is to try and get as much troops as possible, and we're going to be testing if this match is good enough to cheeseburger with, because the thing is, everyone knows if you really want to get the counterattack damage of archers, you run Kinnara with your Husk. This does an absurd amount of damage, and we're going to be testing out a couple of pages as well. I might be testing out one extra match to see just how good this is compared to some others, right? But what we've got is Kinnara and our Nico together. The talent page I'm currently running, and for the first set of reports I'm going to showcase, is kind of my PvP one I've been running at the moment. I'm not saying it's the greatest one ever, but it's a little bit more spicy than you've probably seen most people doing, right? So I'm going down actually the full control route, as you can see, and I'm actually maximizing on the ambush to get the defense break, and I'm actually testing out for the first time Autumn Rains compared to something like Rotician, because this seems really interesting to see if I can strip damage taken reduction buffs, HP buffs, you name it, any buff effect from a rage skill, or just when I'm casting my rage skill, I can just debuff the enemy with. Really good. So I'm actually having a little bit of fun with this, but you'll notice I only have 4% counterattack damage in this build. It's not the greatest build to do this with. What we're going to be rocking actually later down the line is going to be more of a marksman build. So I am going to be running the control tree kind of as you can see here, but we're going to be going all the way up to get the last word up at the top, as well as obviously getting Burst Shot. Burst Shot's a really nice one to run in this build, and I'll explain why a little bit later on. But for the first build, just to showcase this one last time, this is the one we're running at the moment. And for the report, I was actually surprised. I'm going to be honest. I was actually surprised gaining 21,000 and then straight away after 21,300. And this is kind of what we wanted to see, because if you scroll all the way down, we're going to be looking at these reports and seeing obviously the bad and good trades, obviously through me and the GG guys all swarming. And I'm going to showcase a little bit later again, gameplay wise, of the next talent tree we're going to be testing. But you can see 2.2k, 1.5k, right? So you can see this is how many troops I lost compared to them and stuff. And you'll notice it is a nice little trend. I am out trading quite a lot in the early stages, and that's kind of what you want, right? When you're building these type of counterattack builds, you really want to do a really good Sev wound trade, because you are going to get swarmed. That's the aim. But you have to try and get these small wins all the time, and you'll notice that's kind of what we're aiming for in this entire build. So you can notice if we go down, the fights are very quick. They're not long fights at all, guys, but each one mounts up, especially when you get into these little categories here. These are all net technically positive trades, right? Net positive trades that my March is generating, and if I could generate more of these little ones possibly over time, that's where you're going to get even better merit reports, right? Compared to this area here, where I did stand out a little bit longer to try and deal a bit of damage to one of the guys in GG. And you can see we did some good big hits on some certain marches. So the next report, pretty much identical. You'll notice again towards the end, starting out. One thing, when we go into the gameplay side of it, I am going to talk about is Bertrand Toha. Bertrand Toha, honestly, for mage players, I feel like is a must right now. Sounds a bit crazy, but if you don't have a Bertrand Toha and you're just relying on Lilia, Valen with like Waldeas, Indices, Fears, you name it, that match realistically isn't going to do too much, unless you're like Super T5 like this guy, like Supreme is, big shout out to him, where the trades are a little bit more favorable for those. And you can see even on supplements here, it's a one trade difference, so those ones are doing all right. But when you're looking at Bert Toha, this match is the one which honestly actually feels like it causes you big problems because of obviously the single target damage, and we're going to see that in a moment. So what we're going to do is go to some gameplay now. I hope you guys have enjoyed this kind of like intro section. what we're going to do is change the build for my Kinnara. So what we're going to do is go to one of these trees. We'll go for this tree here. Actually, we're going to switch to this one. So this is the tree we're going to be running for our march. It's a bit more rage generation. I could remove this. Actually, do you know what we will? We'll reset this. We'll make it a little bit more tankier because I do want to, if I'm honest with you guys, take as little damage as possible and rely on as much counterattack damage as I can with, you know, my march. So we're going to get the march speed. We need the march speed to counterattack damage. And now, yeah, we're going to go for egoism. This is going to stop us taking any sort of hero skill damage from them Bertrands and Tohas. It's going to be really good. Here, when we cast a raid skill, we don't really care about, but we are going to be swarmed. And by being swarmed, this Soul Siphon is actually a really good option for our marchers. So now we're going to go back over here. I actually don't care about these. One thing I really care about in this march is march speed. I want to be able to get in and out of cities really fast and maybe come out a little bit, you know, further and then pop back in. Really, really good. Another one, again, we could take something like Steady Shot, but I don't like this unless you're super, super close in the city hops. So I'm not going to go for that. Intimidation is a very safe perk, but what I am actually going to go for is Alert. I actually really like Alert. 1.5%, again, less damage dealt is great. When your Legion consists entirely of marksman units, they gain 5 stacks of attack, increasing every 10 seconds while they're in battle. Each stack increases their attack by 1%, and each normal attack they launch removes a stack. So this is honestly the way I'm figuring out more and more about archers, and you'll see why this is actually a really good talent for this type of, you know, build we're going for here. So now we have to kind of go for the HP. I'm going to be honest with you guys, this is so important. Some people might want to go for Blinding Snare, not a bad choice at all, or even Colonist, because you are going to be reducing your HP over time, so actually giving that little bit of attack bonus isn't too bad. But Blinding Snare, not a bad option. This is 20% march speed on them. So if you're trying to get away and they're really fast and you're just trying to hop back in the city, it's not actually a bad call depending on how far you're debating to come out. But I am going to stick with Delight just to keep up with the damage. Now we're going to go for Last Word, and we're going to double up on all of that beautiful counterattack damage you've got now. So that's 8%, and then we'll finish off with Burst Shot. This is just whenever we launch normal attacks. I kind of want to do that. I don't care about Fragility, reducing their, you know, sort of defenses, because all we're trying to do is really very fast trades, right? And you'll notice that when it comes here. We've got 1 point left, and with that 1 point, we could go for quite a lot of different stuff, to be honest. And I might actually put it in something like even Harvest. This is a 1% extra attack bonus, but no, actually, no, we don't even need that, do we? Let's be honest. We don't want to reduce our defense. Let's just have a quick, good idea about this. Normal attack damage taken, nearly 1%. We'll grab it. That's actually not a bad shout at all. So that's making us super tanky. So we're gonna go and now switch to that talent page. So this is it again, just to show you guys. Switch, it's going to cost us 1,000 gems. Unlucky for the video. You guys know what we're suffering. And now we're going to showcase it. So let's see. So if we go over to our march here, create Legion, boom, pull out the Kinnara and the Nico. And the thing I ran in this build, which might surprise a lot of you, is Heart of Camisette. I actually did in the very first report, I did use Rattle Spear, and in the second report when I was testing this, I used Camisette, and I did get that extra little bit of merit, right? The extra little bit. It's just probably down to the extra defense. It's really important. So now we've got T5. Yes, this is T5. I'm going to be just to test this out and showcase. Look, if you're a T5 player wondering if these guys are going to be good later down the line, why not? Especially even a T4 player working their way up. So here we've got the carnage. This is where all the carnage is kind of at the moment. And what we were doing, we're jumping between these kind of cities here on this front line to just generate as many merits as we can. So what we're going to do is something similar. We're going to just jump into these cities here, and we're going to just keep doing it. We're going to hop in and out, in and out, in and out, and just keep causing basically problems, because we're not going to allow their players to basically generate, hopefully, as much rage as they feel like they're going to be able to do. So what I'm going to have to do, which is very sneaky here, guys, I'm going to have to go into this tile here, then into this city, and then into this city down here. So now you can see we're really close in. And this is kind of the way you want to play this, by the way. You want to make sure you are in there as far as you can. And the thing is, I was getting hit by Slappermus there. Wasn't really doing all right. And look, 16.5k to 7. You can see he lost so many more just for me being out. So now I'll hop out, go for the kill. I'm going to let them go for a little bit of damage on me. I don't mind it, because I'm going to get a nice little skill cycle off, and then I just jump back in. Just as easy as that. That's all we got to do, guys. We're not going to allow them to get any berserker rushes. We're not going to let them get as many of those, you know, rage cycles off. And this, honestly, guys, is the Rise of Kingdoms tactics. A lot of players will know this as cheeseburgering. The one and only, I think, Chisgul obviously pioneered that term. You can see there's an archer player here, and this guy is obviously trying to cause me issues, but I'm going to go straight into dead hells here. And by doing that, I'm really in this front bit with everyone. And all I'm going to do is target a mage. And by targeting that mage, we're in. And then we're going to hop back out. That's all we're going to do, guys. And we saw a wild deer, so we're going to go on the wild deer here. And they're obviously going to target me. And you can see how much counterattack damage they're on. But then you saw it. I took a buttload of damage. I didn't like that buttload of damage, I'm going to be honest with you, because that buttload of damage was from a skill cycle. And if we go to the merit report, I'm already on 14.4k merits. And you can see it there, right? The Sandral. We've got the normal attack from Magrat that hit us like an absolute truck so far. But when we did that little nice little exchange on the wild deer, 5.4k merits, on the Slappermus, 13.2k we got on the Severoon. So you can see where this, like, you know, strategy actually lies, right? It's nothing too complex, let's be honest. But we are just trying to break the ankles, let's just say that. So now we're out. Do some damage. We got targeted, jump straight back in. Switch out over here. And we're going to just keep making it so these guys, like, can't see us. And then we're going to keep repositioning. And we see this archer player here. So all we'll do is just position so he has to really walk to us. Right? And now he's on us. We'll jump back in. You see how we're doing that? It's nice and easy, little cheeseburger style. I'm going to say I'm the pro. Nowhere near. You can get way better at it. This is kind of me just having a little bit of fun while we're just, honestly, waiting for stuff. Now we're going to kind of let them go crazy just because it's going to be nearing the end of the video. But we're going to see the difference now on the merit reports, what we was able to achieve by just doing that. And look at that, 25.4k merits, guys. 25.4k. And that didn't take me any time at all. And that's just me doing really small trades, as you can see, all the time. Small trades. And that's with the new talent change, right? So what we'll do, just to finish it off, we'll do one more run. But this time, because I want to be fair, right? If we look at this is 21.1k. And if you just go to any of these areas, go to the Legion buffs, you can see this was with my level 1 Rattle Spear. And this is what we were running, right? If we go to this report up here, and then hit again any of these guys, Legion buffs, you'll see the Heart of Camacy, right? So I've got a lot more better buffs on here, right? So we'll do the same. So same thing, again, Sneaky, we've got here, my March, let's just jump to one of them. Hit the battle log, hit the Legion, boom, Heart of Camacy. So we'll make it fair, because I know you guys want to make a nice, fun video. And to be honest, it's really interesting, right? Let's be real. It's actually interesting to see if you're in this kind of situation, you know what I mean? If you're in this predicament where your alliance and that are just unable to actually get in there, do some work, then, you know, this little bit of merits you're gaining very easily, very quickly is going to help, right? Because you can see I've just done those 4 runs. I'm already nearly back up to 100,000 merits, boys, and that's going to be great because we need these. So we're going to get these. We're going to get the Magic Fortune too. Have to grab those 2 things before we refresh the store for the week, right? But interesting, right? So now let's move forward. Boom. Ignore this because this is going to be on the Bastion. We don't care about the Bastion. And this is why I said, like, March speed does actually play a big factor, right? You kind of saw me coming in and out of the cities. The faster your March speed is, guys, the faster you're going to be going in and out. Just remember that, right? It's just that simple. So we're in. And now let's pop over to here. And what we'll do, because there's these mages, we'll pop down south and then get on them, right? Because now these guys are going to have to walk to us. And I don't mind, like, mages walking onto us, but then we could just jump in here. Don't want to take too much, right? Don't want to get too hasty. Hop over here. Ooh, we could go on the Syndrome. We'll try the Syndrome trade. Back in. Look at the calf. We got you on YouTube. We saw you, Deeds, trying to blink in. Oh, that was fun times. And this is kind of the best fit, right? They try to. We're all having a little bit of fun here, and they really tried, you know. They really tried. So this is like cheeseburger at its finest, guys. These guys are trying their best. I'm going so deep. I'm like, oh, there's little duck feet here. And you can see why Soul Siphon, by the way. Look, Soul Siphon is so good for this, by the way. Watch how quick my match goes from 0 to 1,000 rage. Are you ready? Are you ready? Watch this. Boom. I just gained so much. So if you did get that rage cycle off, like you said, boom, you get it, the damage. But look at that, 17.1k compared to it. I will admit, didn't get as many good opportunities because they were definitely looking for me this time. And you can see, though, the big difference, right? I have an attack artifact on, and I might have been able to get some good damage trades off, maybe when I get the skill damage off, right? But comparing it just a flat defense, flat HP, you're actually just generating way more positive trades, right? Compared to using a Rattle Spear to a Heart of Kamaset. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's just how it is in this game. So is, you know, Kinnara and Nico worth using in Season 1? And the thing is, I'll be honest with you guys, I've been using them in my mid ball now, and I've noticed a big difference on how that match operates when you get the Awakening. I'm going to be honest, when you get the double Awakening, this becomes an absolute game-changing of a match. With the mastery skills, you can make this an absolute crazy match too. You could put Light of Soulland on here, turn up the turbo, turn up the defense break if you want. Perfectly fine. However, I like the fact that it's got a little bit of use in different areas. You can have it in the open field. You can do that little bit of cheeseburgering strat you saw there. And to be honest, for a seasonal one, right, two kind of G1 heroes in Call of Dragons, they're doing work. I'm going to be honest, they're doing work. And you've got to think, for a free-to-play, for a low spender that hasn't got the Hosk, doesn't have that big spending money, right? This is a potential good alternate that you could be doing. And what I'm going to be doing in the future is testing out another one, because I've got a theory, guys, where if we pair our Kinnara here, what we could potentially do is put our Madeline there as well. Because the thing is, Madeline, this is going to be a separate video, but just remember, this is all a shield, kind of an attack buff. This is purposely a 10% physical damage dealt bonus. And we also get, guys, we also get 9% counterattack damage. So if this skill was maxed out, we'd have 15% counter attack damage. And then if we did generate the shield somehow, I doubt we ever generate the shield, but if we did generate the shield, it does give us that AoE skill factor. But I do think with these three, maybe these two skills, it could be a good alternate too. We're going to test it out, because why not? We're the Archer Gang on this channel. And if you've enjoyed this video, you found it interesting, you found it entertaining, you know what to do. Smash like, comment, and subscribe, guys. My name is MrSneakyy, the one only. Until the next video, stay safe, stay sneaky. Peace out.